This is the Cinco G2A2 wireless lavalier system that comes in around $200 on Amazon. I purchased this with my own money about 5 months ago, and I've been using it off and on for traveling, vlogs, or just anything in the studio or something like that that has that use case scenario where it would be nice to have a wireless system. And I've been seeing on YouTube and Amazon and people asking about microphone solutions and stuff like that. Everybody talks about the Rode version or the DJI version, and when you look on Amazon, they're over $300. And to me, that's actually crazy that a company would ask that much, regardless of if it's premium or good sounding quality system. They're asking way too much, in my personal opinion, for a setup like this. And I think around $200 and below is the max that you should pay for a system like this. And there's actually a version of the Cinco G2 that's called A1 that only comes with one transmitter to receiver that's around $179. And I think that's a really good asking price for this kind of setup. First, I want to go over the unboxing experience and what you get inside both the A1 and A2 versions. There is a version of the G series that's the G1, A1, and A2. And those don't have a digital screen, so you can't see microphone levels, stuff like that. And those obviously are cheaper. So if you are interested in maybe not having a digital screen and getting a little bit cheaper option, but still getting good sound quality, you can go with those. All of the links will be in the description if you want to check out anything that's mentioned in the video today. The only add-on that I will say with this wireless system is that there is systems out there that do all of this, that have their own little charging carrying case kind of dock. There is a third-party system that you can get from a third party that allows you to plug in the USB Type-C transmitters into the case itself, and you just plug a cable into the case, so you can carry around a case that charges them as you go around and stuff like that if you need that extra battery life. But I personally don't own it. It's around $43, $45 or something like that. That will be linked in the description as well. We'll talk about battery life and all that stuff a little bit later. But first, we're talking about the carrying case. You can put this into your camera bag, sling bag, whatever. Usually if I'm in my camera bag, I will put this in there. If not, then I will put just the little nodes and stuff like that, everything that comes within like a sling or something like that. But I would put this in there. This is durable. It feels like a soft, hard-ish case that's going to take a beating. If you drop it or something like that, your stuff will be perfectly fine inside. As far as it's weatherproof or waterproof or something like that, I had this in my actual camera bag, and my camera bag is somewhat waterproof. And me and my wife were going from Hawaii to North Carolina, traveling all the time, and sometimes it would rain and stuff like that, and I never had an issue of this letting in water or my camera bag letting in water. So somebody maybe be able to tell you in the comment section if this is actually waterproof. But as far as durability, other than the waterproofness of it, I feel like this is definitely going to hold you inside. It looks like this. You have slots for your transmitter and receiver. You actually have this little mesh packaging right here where you can put all your cables and stuff into that you need to take with you. And it fits nicely in a camera bag. It's relatively small. Inside that packaging though, you're gonna get two of these cables. One is gonna be for a camera. As you can see, there is a logo for a camera on this side, and there's a logo for a microphone. The microphone on both of these cables are gonna go into your actually receiver output, and then obviously into the headphone, the mic jack or wherever of your cell phone or your camera. This one is the camera cable. I misplaced the actual cable for the phone, but it's included in the package. If you have a phone that doesn't have an actual aux port or anything like that, you will need to get the corresponding lightning cable, Type-C cable, wherever adapter. That's relatively inexpensive. You can find them cheap, like at Walmart or something like that, and just pick it up if you do need that. Now you move on to the actual charging cable. It's kind of small, comes in this 3-piece design. Again, that traveling case or wherever that I talked about and mentioned earlier from that third party, you would just plug the actual modules into the case or wherever, into like a Type-C port that's already built in, and so you don't have to worry about this short cable. But you can find these 3-headed cables, Type-C or wherever, relatively cheap. I found one in Dollar Tree that's longer than this that I use to plug the system into, and it works perfectly fine. It doesn't come with a wall charger brick that you can plug this into, so if you need something like that and you have a lot of USBs already, I will link in the description to a actual charging port brick or dock that I use that comes with like 8 ports or something like that, and there's an option for a whole bunch of Type-C type ports that you just plug into a wall outlet, and you could just mount that to your desk or whatever, and have different options, so you're not taking up another wall outlet just to plug this in. The battery life on these things are about 8 hours, and I've never personally ran out the battery on them, but if you do run the battery out, it takes about an hour and a half to fully recharge. Inside you will get 2 lavalier microphones. These lavalier microphones are on the cheap end, but they're still budget cheap, meaning that they're not going to fall apart on you. They're not going to easily break unless you purposely are trying to break them. They look relatively nice. I would say the build quality overall is pretty nice. I don't really know how you would say this is high quality because it's a lavalier microphone, but the sound that you can get out of it straight out of the box, get up and just go after you purchase it and hook it up and everything. It's nice to have these, and I would definitely say if you want to replace it in the future, you can, but you're gonna get your money's worth out of these microphones, and it's gonna sound great. And the cables is fairly long, so even if you're tall and you need to hook it up to your belt or something like that, or to put it in your jacket pocket and have the cable run up, it's fine. I'm about 6 foot, and I never had a problem with cable length with one of these transmitters clipped to my belt or anything like that. If you are going to use this wireless lavalier system, I would suggest using it around your sternum or your chest, in the middle right here where your bone connects to your ribs and stuff like that, to get the best audio. You do not want to clip it up here or get anywhere close to your throat or underneath your chin, because your chin and your throat is going to fight the vocals in recordings and stuff like that, so your audio is not going to sound the best. You're going to want your audio around here in this local range or wherever to get the best audio from a lavalier system, or even one of these transmitters. So people that are going around holding it like this or having this clipped like super close, they're all doing it wrong. It doesn't look clean. It doesn't look professional. I would suggest getting a lavalier system, plugging it in, even though these come with mics on the actual transmitters themselves, and just using that. I've never used these microphones on this transmitter or something like that. They sound pretty much the same as the lavalier system, but you still have that capability if you do need to use the transmitter in that fashion. It comes with a little clip that you can clip obviously onto your belt, in your pocket, or onto your shirt or something like that at a shot. I never had a problem with this clip. It feels like it's built to last. You get the microphone in right there, so if you want to plug a shotgun microphone, whatever, into it and make it wireless, you can. You have the USB Type-C charging port. You have the power/mute button, so if you tap it once, it will mute. If you hold it down, it will power on. And on the LED screen, you can tell which microphone system that you have. This is B, of course. You have the power or battery life at the top. You have, if it's linked together, low pass filter, and if the microphone is muted or not. You have all that on your digital display, and you can see if the microphone's peaking or not from the actual transmitter, as well on the receiver as well. On this side, you have a little port or a little hole to reset the actual transmitter. You have the low pass filter button that you can push, and you have the link to unlink if you want to link both transmitters together with the receiver or something like that for maybe stereo or mono, wherever you want to do. If that's what you want to do, you can. Now, both transmitters do not allow you to record individually on the transmitters themselves. I know there are some options out there that allows you to do that, but this does not, at least from my testing and review of it. I have not seen that capability being able to do that on these transmitters or receiver. So if that's something you're looking into, you might want to look into another system, but as far as this system goes, that's not a capability that it has. Both transmitters are the same. The only thing differently that you'll see is that on the digital screen that says A instead of B. The receiver has a little bit difference. You see A and B, you see their microphone gain levels, and you also see their bars moving back and forth. You have mono or stereo up here. It will tell you which mode you're in, and then you will have the battery life up there in that corner as well for the actual receiver itself. On this side, you have the USB-C charging capability right there to plug it in. You have mono or stereo options just by clicking it once to cycle through them. And then if you hold it down, you'll turn the device on or off. On the other side, you have that hole again to reset the device if you need to, and you have the gain capabilities of changing the gain on A and B. They go up from 3 to 6 to 12 dB. They don't go into the negatives. So what you want to do with this device is turn down your preamps. On my Sony EV10, that is putting it all the way down, I would say below 3, never going higher than 3 on the preamps, and turning the gain on 12 on these, and you'll get the best sounding audio you can out of this system. With that being said, we're going to move on to a sound test of this system. If you're looking for the distance and everything like that, from what I understand, it's like 100 meters away, but I will link in the description to somebody who already did a distance test. And if you turn away from the receiver, all that stuff, it's kind of more detailed, and I believe he reviewed it against the road, and that's what kind of made me just go ahead and get these. So there will be a link to the description to that comparison and that walkthrough, because we have a winter storm here and I can't go outside to test the distance, and it's negative degrees outside, it's snowing and stuff like that. So I just don't have the capability to do that right now, but I would show you what it sounds like in pretty much an untreated sound open living room, because that's what my YouTube studio is out here. And you'll see the edited version and the non-edited version, and you'll get a good sense of what it sounds like. With that being said, here's that audio test. So this is a audio test of the Synco G2A2 wireless lavalier system. The lavalier is squarely on my chest where it's supposed to be. It's plugged straight into the transmitter. The receiver has a plus 12 dB of gain on it and going straight into the Sony ZV-1. The ZV-1 has its preamps turned all the way down to 1, the lowest it can go on the camera. And this is what it sounds unedited, raw, straight audio. All right. Same setup of everything. This is the audio tweaking that I did in my editing software. I'll throw on screen right now what I did to get roughly a better audio with the lavalier microphone plugged straight into the transmitter. This is what it sounds like. This is the test, mic check, test 1 2 3 1 2 3 test. All right, as you can see, I have the wireless lavalier system without the lavalier and just the transmitter in the middle of my chest. Going into the Sony ZV-1, nothing's changed other than unplugging the lavalier. This is what it sounds like. Mic check, 1 2 3, mic check, 1 2 3. All right, same setup. This is just it straight out of the transmitter going straight into the receiver. This is what I could do as far as editing the sound. This is what it sounds like. Mic check, 1 2 3, mic check, 1 2 3. All right, so the most unprofessional way you can do this is this way, just like clipping it on my shirt. This is just a wireless receiver right in front of me with no lavalier or anything like that. I know some people talk like this and do it like this, so this is the audio test. This is what it sounds like unedited. Mic check, 1 2 3, mic check, 1 2 3. All right, so this is the audio test with what EQ I could do to see how I can get it to sound. I'll have that on the screen again. This is how it sounds. Mic check, 1 2 3, mic check, 1 2 3. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. I just wanted to go over this wireless lavalier system because, again, when I was looking for one, everybody kept saying to get these and paying over $300 and something for a system. I don't care how good it is. It's just kind of ridiculous to me. But again, even with this budget option, there are some features that are missing, like the internal recording system, if that's what you're looking for, or maybe having it always constantly charge on the go and stuff like that. Again, you can get that third-party add-on if that's what you want, but this just suits my needs, and maybe you don't need those type of things like the always charging carrying case, or maybe you don't need the internal recordings. Maybe that's something you're not worried about. So this is a great budget option. I just kind of wanted to put it on your radar, and maybe something that people don't really mention all the time, to let people know that there are other brands out there that you can get. Not going to be plus $300 something. Shop around, see what you need, what features you need, what features you care about. You don't need the 2 transmitters. You can just get the 1 transmitter or something like that. But again, just wanted to put it on your radar. Hopefully you guys enjoy your time in the fish tank. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Have a squid-tastic day. God bless you and yours. And deuces, everybody. Much love.